I'll get straight to it, guys. I've busted my knee.
Bugger!
Now, I don't know what I've done, but I'm gonna guess that we've popped the ACL. I'm not gonna bore you with the details. It's a story for another day if you wanna hear it, but I thought today would be a good day for me to discuss training with injuries or dealing with having a serious injury and how it's gonna impact your training. Before we get into the video, important disclaimer, I am not a doctor. I don't like to play a doctor on the internet. Please go seek professional medical advice. That is not what this video is. This video is purely just for information and entertainment purposes. Go see a doctor with any issues that you have. And with that, tip number one, which is go see a doctor. Go see a professional and get professional advice and professional treatment. Please don't listen to the bros in your gym who tell you that they've had the exact same thing happen to them and they know exactly what it is. I mean, listen to them, be polite, nod along and smile and say thank you, and then go see a doctor. Go get x-rays, go get exams, go get blood tests. We're not just talking about bones and joints here. If you've got like chronic fatigue or you're fainting in class, I don't know, anything where it's impacting your ability to train like you normally would, go see a professional. The more information you can get, the more powerful it is. So if you can go get scans and blood tests and get a professional opinion, then you've got a better scope of what you're dealing with, what the time frame is, and what you need to adjust. It might be little things like adjusting something in your diet, or it might be a bigger thing like you need surgery and that's going to require a big splash of time off. But whatever it is, having that information is going to allow you to make better decisions and help speed up the recovery and minimize the loss to your training. All that being said, very few injuries mean that you can't train at all. Now, there definitely will be some, and again, like I said, go speak to your doctor. They'll let you know if the one you've got is one of those, but you can generally work around injuries. Like I said, my knee is busted. I can't walk on one of my legs. I'm using crutches to get around, but today I used my crutches and I hobbled along to the gym and I did an upper body weightlifting workout using strictly machines. So I didn't touch any free weights, I didn't go on a bench, I didn't try to pick up a dumbbell. I sat down on the little machines that you see people using and I did a 30-minute workout. Was it great? No. Did I really enjoy it? No. But I got a workout in today nonetheless. A great thing that I like to use, especially when I'm not feeling motivated or I've got a problem like this, is BTN workouts. BTN. Better than nothing. When I don't feel motivated to train, I try to do a better than nothing workout, which might just simply mean I'm gonna do some press-ups, I'm gonna do some star jumps, and I'm gonna stretch for 5 minutes. Is it a good workout? No. Is it gonna get me anywhere? No. Is it better than nothing? Hell yeah. Yeah, it is. And that's a really good approach when you've got these moments where you feel like you can't progress with your training, where something feels like it's gonna be stagnant for a while. The worst thing you can do is completely stop, is do absolutely nothing. Not only physically, because yeah, you're gonna get really out of shape, you're gonna put on body fat, you're gonna lose mobility, but just mentally, what you're doing is you're generating a long-term habit of not training, not going to training. And that's gonna be really difficult for you to break down the line when everything's okay. But let's say you are one of those people where the injury is so serious that you can't train. Or let's say, for example, your gym's got a policy on it. Maybe you got knocked out last week. They won't let you train. There is still things you can do. One is see if you can still attend classes. Ask if you can just come sit in the corner and watch. Now I know that sounds like just a complete waste of your time and that you're gonna be in the way and that you're gonna irritate people. But the reality of it is, in most cases, that's not gonna be the case. Now, unless you're an annoying person, then I can't help you there. But if you're one of the guys anyway, ask if you can just come and sit in the corner. The big thing is, like I said, maintaining the habit. Maintain the habit of every Tuesday and Thursday, you go to classes. Even if that means you just sit there and hang out with the guys, watch them train. Now, watching people train, you can learn a lot from it. Listening to the coach while he breaks down technique or talks about pads, When you're able to watch that from the sideline and be completely detached, as in you're not exhausted and you're not tired from the warm-up and from the drills, you can often pick up on a lot more than if you're in the class, if you're kind of in the eye of the storm. So try to get down to classes if you can. Try to go to the gym if you can, even if it's just to be in the presence of it. Worst case scenario, you're in a hospital bed, you can't move, you're bed bound. Watch fights. Continue to watch YouTube channels like this, watch fights, watch old training footage, watch instructionals. Just again, try to stay engaged with what it is that you enjoy, because the harder thing to do later down the line is to bridge that gap. The more separation you create between you and it will often mean that it's going to be that much more difficult to come back to it. Now, keep in mind, for some of you, this might all feel like a bit too much, and maybe you just need to take a little break. Don't put your attention on it because it's going to upset you to even think about it. That's fine, you know yourself, and if that's the case, then just take some time off. Play video games, read a book, take up knitting, do a new hobby, and then get back to it when you can. Depending on the injury, there's going to be a process of rehabilitation. This might be a case of actual physical rehab, like I'm gonna probably have to do with this knee, simple body weight exercises that build up in intensity over time. This might be a case of easing your way back into training to kind of test how it goes before jumping back in the deep end. What I will say is take your rehab seriously. You'll often hear doctors tell you that if they give you a course of antibiotics, that you need to make sure you take the entire course regardless of when you start to feel better. Because more often than not, you'll take, let's say you got 12 pills to take, you'll do the first 4 days and your body will respond really well to that. And you'll actually start having your system alleviated. You feel much better. And the classic thing that happens at that stage is people go, well, I feel better, why take any more pills? Let me stop. Now, the reason that they do that with antibiotics is because whatever the bacteria is that's in your system that's making you sick, when you take those first 4 tablets, you kill the weak bacteria. The majority of the population of that bacteria in your body gets dealt with early with the first 4. Those last 6, 8 tablets, they're to kill the really nasty bugs. They're to kill the bacteria that have become a little bit resistant to antibiotics and treatment. These are the ones that hide in the corner of your system. And if you don't take the full course, there's a chance that once you stop taking your medicine, those nasty ones start to repopulate and you end up with a far worse problem. This is why we're ending up now with antibiotic resistant bacteria, because people aren't taking full courses and they're leaving these very nasty, very buff bacteria to reproduce and create even worse strands. Now, if it's antibiotics, that's exactly what might happen. You don't want that to happen. But if it's, let's say with me, my knee, and I do part of the rehab, I start doing some body weight squats, I start doing some movement practice, and my knee starts to feel good, the worst thing I can do is then go, right, my knee's better, let's jump back into sparring. Let's jump back into high intensity training. Because although the main stability might be back, it might feel like itself, there's gonna be something in there that's not quite 100%. And what you're running the risk of is repeat injury. And if there's anything worse than having a serious injury, it's having a repeat serious injury. Mess up your knee once, doctors can probably fix you up and get you back to like 90% of where you were before. Mess up the exact same knee in the exact same way a second time, get cut open a second time, have a second surgery, chances are you're really going to start to see a drop off in terms of your performance level from what you had before. So please, whatever the form of rehabilitation it is, if it's going back to training slow because you had a really bad fever, of something that kind of affected your respiratory system or your heart or your lungs, whatever it might be, or a more injury like a bone or a joint or anything like that, a concussion from being hit, don't rush back to training. Take your rehab seriously and you'll be better off for it in the long run. Final point on this is acceptance is key and your mindset is going to be everything. Don't go into martial arts thinking that you're going to get through it without any injury. chances are, if you train martial arts of any kind, there's gonna come a time where you're gonna bust your shoulder, you're gonna bust your knee, you're gonna bust something, and you're gonna take a real long hiatus from proper active training. And it's very easy to let that get into your head about all the time you're gonna miss, all the potential gains you're gonna lose, how you're not gonna become this champion or win this or do that or achieve this. It's very easy to go down that rabbit hole, and then you're adding mental stress and mental strain on top of what's already probably a serious physical problem. Your mind is the most important part of all of this, so please don't let it fall down that rabbit hole. Accept what's happened to you, because you can't change it and you can't control it. You have no control over what's happened in the past. You twisted your foot, you zigged when you should have zagged, and you hurt yourself. And that's the situation that you're in now. Use that to take active steps forward and do what you can to make yourself better. Do your rehab, see your doctors, train in ways that are available to you that's not going to exacerbate the problem, and just get back to it when you can. It's a reality of the sport, and you don't want to let that be the thing that wrecks it for you. Guys, I hope this video has been helpful. If it has done, I'd appreciate it if you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We've got new videos coming every week, and I will see you on the next one.